going on, guys? Thanks for joining the Wing and Tail Boys on another podcast this week. If you didn't get a chance to listen to episode 0, go ahead and take a listen to it because that's where you're going to find out everything that you could come to expect from our channel on a week-to-week basis. But we figured for our first official episode, Angelo and I would like to talk to you kind of about our experiences and how we came into hunting and what the outdoors really means to us. So, Angelo, if you want to take off, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, where do you even start when you talk about something like this, right? It's like who you are, that's a really deep question. But as far as the outdoors, that's just something I feel like I've always kind of been in. My father was a avid hunter from, obviously my childhood, but even from his childhood, our family came from Argentina. My father, at least, was born in Argentina, came here when he was 12 years old. And ever since then, the family kind of just, started their hunting in New Jersey. And that's kind of where they've been hunting pretty much their whole lives. And, when I first started out hunting, it was kind of cool to kind of be outside and you don't see animals as often as people would think. They don't just line up for you when you walk out there. But, as a kid, when you do finally see an animal, especially when you're driving on the side of the road and you stop and, oh, look at the deer. And that was just, kind of now I can't even drive anywhere. If there's a tree, I'm looking if there's a deer behind it. So it's like I'm always kind of just driving down the highway, looking and seeing if there's something in the woods or whatever it may be. And it kind of just grew from there, just being outside, picnicking, camping, and the very little bit of hunting I did in my early years, was kind of what made me love the outdoors. And as I started to get a little bit older and I was able to have my first bow and my first shotgun and I went out hunting, those experiences were pretty cool to me. I didn't really do much of the scouting, obviously. My father did most of the scouting. And when we went hunting, he would just, say, sit here and don't move. And, if God forbid anything happens, just I'll be over here just a little ways and, yell out to me and I'll come over and see what you need. But that was really kind of it. We just sat and we waited. And if we saw something, we would potentially take a shot. And we were, lucky enough to harvest a doe or a small animal. Um, we did a lot of pheasant hunting, specifically small. When I say small animal, I mean small game. We did a lot of pheasant hunting, rabbit hunting as kids, and that was kind of really what got me into the sport. Because as a young kid, and your attention span is really small, and you're out there deer hunting, and no one's around you, and you're just kind of fidgeting, and we know you're not going to see much if you're doing that, making noise. So small games kind of really where I kind of got my passion from being out there and you just the actions just a lot faster. So, it can kind of keep you engaged as a young kid. And one of the other things that was really kind of something that got me into the hunting and fishing was the fishing. You know what I mean? Fishing is where what you're doing. You could be on fish all day.
Yeah.
If it's sunfish as a little kid, you put a piece of corn or a piece of hot dog or, worm, whatever it may be, you could be catching sunfish all day. So, that was another thing that really kind of got me into the outdoors. And, as I got older, kind of lost it actually for a little bit, to be honest. I was kind of doing my own thing as a teenager, wanting to hang out with friends and, looking for girlfriends and, doing that whole mess. And, I kind of got away from it a little bit. I knew it was still a passion of my family. So, there'd be the occasion where, there'd be a weekend where I'd agree to come out and hunt and kind of have that experience with the family. And that's another thing that, now that I'm older and, I'm married, you're married, and we have grandkids, not grandkids, there are grandkids
Nieces
in our families, but nieces and
and
nephews of
nephews. Yeah.
ours. But our parents obviously have grandkids, and we're all bringing them out, and seeing them start to kind of enjoy the outdoors is really cool. But for me, like I said, I lost it for a little bit, and just the camaraderie is something that I really missed, and that kind of brought me back into it. Now that I'm a little bit older and I'm a little bit more mature, missing out on those moments with family members and friends is something that is really to not be overlooked. If anyone here's gone back and listened to episode 0, you'll hear me reference a mantra that I like to live by is experience the wild. And it's not necessarily only about nature or the outdoors. A lot of the experience is the time spent with family and friends because as like we've said and as other people know, you know going out and deer hunting doesn't mean you're going to be coming home with something. There's a lot of time spent with, coming home with nothing or spending time out in the woods, whether you're sitting in a blind with a buddy or a family member, or if you're out there, at deer camp, those can be sometimes the only memories you get on a hunting trip. So those are things that, we really need to cherish. And, as far as my how I got into hunting, I think that's really kind of it, just being with the family out hunting, camping, hiking. And it's just something that always stuck with me. And even though I left it, I knew I was always probably going to come back.
For sure. Now that's all really cool stuff, and I think we actually have a little bit more of a similar overall story than we even thought we did. For those of you listening at home, Angelo and I are cousins, and my mom and his dad are brother and sister. So both of our parents both came from Argentina, and the hunting was really fostered in them when they were, well, not them. My mom didn't really hunt, but your dad hunted from a young time with his uncles and his father down in Argentina. And when they came up here, and my mom met my dad, and they got married, it took my dad probably 10 years for my mom to finally convince him to just, why don't you go hunting with my brother? Why won't you go? Why don't you go? And finally in 1994, he gave in. He's like, you know what? Fine, I'll give it a try. And the second he got out there for the first time, I mean, he was hook, line, and sinker. So Anthony's my brother, and he started hunting probably, I would say, or going out with our parents together on those hunts. And that's something that I didn't really get to experience myself. My first memories of hunting are pheasant hunting. And just like you, that's really what got me into it. And I tell people all the time that I talk to that deer hunting and pheasant hunting are both awesome in their own respect. Because when you're out deer hunting, like you said, it's quiet, you're alone, you have to sit still, and if you're having a bad day, it's a great way to remedy that. And if you're having a good day, it's a great way to increase that. But when you're out pheasant hunting, it's more of a family activity and a friend's activity, and you're bullshitting as you walk through the woods, and you're having a great time, and oh, bird, bird, and it's a different kind of experience where when we go hunting, we enjoy the ride to the hunt, and we enjoy the stories we share on our way home from the hunt. But when we're out pheasant hunting, it is from the moment we leave the house to the moment we get back to the house that we're able to enjoy that. Um, fast forward, same thing. When I went off to college, I kind of lost the hunting aspect just a little bit. Similar to you, I wasn't really the one scouting when I was younger. To be honest with you, it was your father telling me what tree to go sit in too. He's like, just sit there, shut up, wait for the deer to come by. And
And sometimes they did, sometimes they didn't, because it's not like they were,
right.
Daniel Boone.
Right. So it was a lot of fun. And then right out of college in 2018, I ended up moving up to New Hampshire. And by that time, I had kind of gotten out of hunting and I was trying to get back into it. And I started going out with some of my friends that I had made up there and my other brother, John, who lives up there. And as much as I loved being in New Hampshire and as much as I loved the area and the friends and the atmosphere, I always missed hunting with the family. That was the one thing I used to tell my mom all the time is that I miss hunting with everybody. And that's one of the things that led me to come back. At that time, my dad had, I think it was 2019 or 2020. My parents were fortunate enough or kind enough to purchase a piece of land for our family to enjoy. And between wanting to spend more time with the family and now having this property that I could go out and enjoy and manage, I really started to get back into it. Except when I came back and got into it at this point, I didn't want to do how I grew up, putting some corn down or baiting the deer or whatever the case is. I didn't want to do it that way anymore. I wanted to improve on my skill to read signs because even if you put food out, you have to know where to put it, right? You have to be able to read the sign, read a map, know where to go, where the deer want to be. So I've always had that ability to go in the woods and scout and find deer, but it was never anything impressive. It was just first deer that came by or the first set of sign, you sit down and that's that. And that curbed my hunger for long enough. But this time around, I really wanted the challenge. I really wanted to go out there, not just for something I could put up on my wall. It's more so about why I believe or what I feel our responsibility is as hunters and outdoorsmen. And I feel that the the purpose of hunting above anything else is population control, right? And managing the herd and trying to keep the herd as healthy as possible through proper management tactics or management plans, right? So My thing is, why go out and shoot anything you could see? Go out and try to shoot those mature deer. Try to harvest a mature deer that has lived his life, spread his seed, so to speak, or her seed, and they've already passed on those genetics and those that family structure, however you want to put it. But taking the older deer out and giving the younger deer an opportunity to grow is really what I feel is the basis of hunting, or at least what I like to do. So I feel that going out in the woods and being able to identify an older deer and locate them and hunt them specifically, I think is beneficial for us for, what we want to bring home, I guess you could say, but also beneficial to the animals. And now this whole Wing and Tail Outdoors, Wing and Tail Boys, this whole network that we're growing, it's an opportunity for us to get back together again as family. Some people may be able to contribute more often than others, but it's an opportunity for all of us to share stories and document them and have them somewhere where 10, 15, 20 years down the road, when I have kids and you have kids, and they're able to go back, and we don't have to just tell them these stories. We have the documentation to go along with it. And if nothing else comes from this and from that, I think that is more important than anything.
Yeah, and a lot of times things can go unsaid. You know what I mean? Like you get wrapped up in life and things are, going faster than you planned on them. And these videos might be the only thing we have to pass on. God willing, we'll be there for our kids. And there's some people who are unfortunate in that aspect where they aren't able to, and they are not able to have that relationship with their child. And some children go on through life and they don't have the ability to know who their parents were, know who their family members were. So, it's nice to have a platform like this. And in some aspects, technology having gone as far as it has can be a blessing. And if it's used in the right way, I think it really honestly can help a lot of people. And with our vision for this, we're really not only wanting to just obviously help ourselves and help our families, but we want to help as many people as we can. People might not even have people out there who even have family members who are into hunting or fishing. They might just have it in their own heart that this is something that they want to do, and they want to find a community and find a group of people that they can share it with and learn from and do it so that they can enjoy what they like, because there's very few people that I know that have experienced the outdoors that just say that they can turn it off right after. I mean, anyone who's just gone for a hike, you know what I mean? They just, even the people who are just only doing it for the exposure, whether they want to post a picture to say like, look what I did, it's something that they're proud of, right? At the very least, it's something that they're proud of. Otherwise,
For
you're not
sure.
going to post something that you're not proud of. You know what I mean?
Right.
We know that, a lot of times you go on social media and it's really, people are just making themselves look like they have this beautiful life. But, the truth can sometimes be a lot different. And, it's just funny, though. You always see that no matter who they are, whether you're looking at their posts or they start to tell you stories about their lives, a lot of people will always end up saying that part of them is in the outdoors. The cliche thing, you see people's dating profiles like long walks on the beach and hikes and stuff. Most people don't even do it, to be
Right.
honest with you, but
Yeah.
they say they do. They say they do because they know it's cool. And one of the other things that you touched on about, having to learn on your own and kind of, your father got into it a little bit later and he, had to learn a little bit on his own. And that's what kind of, fostered that in yourself, but there's a lot of things that I've had to learn on my own as well. I have my father's an avid hunter, and he lives and breathes hunting. If he's got spare time, if he's not in the woods, he's watching videos of people who are, right. We
Yeah.
grew up with all those DVDs that people were selling, and the hunting
Never mind the
channel.
DVDs. We grew up with ESPN. They had deer hunting on
Oh yeah,
ESPN
and
on
fishing in the
Saturdays and
morning. I mean,
Sundays.
that's
Oh
their
my man, those were
little
the
kids
days.
now. Yeah, right. They talked about growing up and watching cartoons, and we were
Oh,
growing up to watch Bill Dance and all those other guys that were fishing on Saturdays, and the Real Tree and other people who were hunting, and we kind of learned some stuff from them as well. But you know, one of the things that I really like about having left hunting and came back, right? I really kind of found my own way of hunting, right. There's so many times where whether you're learning anything, whether obviously you have a background in math, you're a math teacher, and you're teaching people all the time. you can go to 10 different math class and get 10 different experiences with someone teaching you something like that. And it's the same thing with anything. It's the same thing with hunting, right? The same person can teach 10 different people and they can get 10 different experiences from it. And, the one thing that I've gotten is, yeah, you walk in the woods and you know someone who knows even just a little bit about hunting, and they'll point out to you the rubs and the scrapes and, stuff that sticks out. Obviously, I mean, if you've been in the woods and you've seen a deer scrape line, I mean, you know what you're looking at, right? It's
Yeah.
not something that's like a big secret. You've seen a tree all scratched up and mauled and half torn to the floor. I mean, you can imagine that something did that, obviously. And we live in the Northeast. We don't live in Alaska, where you've got a million different things that could have made sign like that, whether it be bears or mountain lions or other deers, mule deers, moose, elk. I mean, we know what it is, right? We live in the Northeast. It's deer or bear. There's really not much else doing anything. And, having to go in and find the small details that really tell the stories, whether it's tracking after a nice snowfall, right? Like, I mean, that's one of the best things that I could say that I love about hunting is going in and doing like a track or like a spot and stalk. I mean, that just really gets me going, so, learning how to find that sign. And that's something that, we're eager to teach people as we kind of show them what we know now and what we, are going to learn along the way. Really hope that that could be a benefit to people, but, getting out and really putting your boots on the ground is really, really kind of the only thing that I can suggest to people who haven't had any experience in the outdoors, whether you're with someone or not, even if it's just going for a hike and maybe you just take a couple steps off the trail, right? And just see what's kind of out there beyond that very few yards that you could see past the trail. You know what I mean? Just see what else is going on, just past what everyone else's vision can give them. And you know, I think that in addition to the hunting, I mean, getting out and experiencing some of these other things that the outdoors has to offer, like fishing and hiking, camping. I'm really into survival and bushcraft and stuff like that, and I think we're going to be bringing a couple of videos of stuff like that too to the channel. But what are some of your experiences that you've had aside from hunting? We've focused a lot on hunting in the last two episodes. We've talked about the fact that we're going to be touching on some of the other outdoor sports. So, what are some of the other experiences that you've had in the outdoors aside from deer hunting?
I mean, for me, my family really got going in the outdoors young. My dad comes home one night and he says to my mom, he says, "Hey, I've been thinking about getting a pop up. I really want to get into camping because they had gone camping a couple of times. I think we went once with your dad, where we got stormed on so bad, the wind was blowing so bad, and you were holding onto the tarp and you were in the
Oh yeah,
you were flying in the
yeah.
air.
I think it even got tangled around my wrist. Otherwise, I'd have
Man,
been floating like a kite.
but that experience was awesome. I mean, we're talking about it 30 years later, you know what I mean? Or whatever it was. So 5 years old, my dad comes home. He says, I'm thinking about buying a pop-up. Why don't we go look at it? And my mom goes, Anthony, I don't know. We just had, he goes, well, I already bought it. So
Gotta love it.
all of a sudden we were going everywhere. My dad got a AAA book. He would go to like either look in the books or go to like travel agents and to help plan these trips. And next thing you know, we're
Imagine
going
that
to
having a travel agent.
yeah.
Who has those anymore?
I know someone who had us use a travel agent for a wedding or two.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know, all of a sudden we're going to five, six, seven, five-star campgrounds every summer, and we're going from we're from New Jersey, so we used to go anywhere from New Jersey and north because our pop-up didn't have any air conditioning in it. So we started off local. We'd go to New York, Pennsylvania. We went to Cooperstown. Actually, we found out we went to a campground which was right around the corner from where my wife and I just moved, which is pretty cool. Um, but then we found our little niche in a beautiful campground in Maine called Lake Pemaquid. And man, all of a sudden we fell in love with it. The first year we went was in, I want to say 98. I think the first year we went was 98. And then Nono passed away. Or the first year we went was 99. And then we skipped a year because, we weren't feeling it or whatever. And then the next year we went and we've been every single summer since then. We've been back to this campground. We're going on 20 something years. I've lost track. And we've made friends who have become like family. I mean, John, that's where I met John, and we just built this bond like no other. So the outdoors didn't just get us outdoors enjoying hunting and fishing. The outdoors created friends and family, or made friends into family. That's really where I started, where I really fell in love with fishing, and it wasn't just because of the fishing. It was because there were a million bald eagles that had nests on the lake, and I don't know if you were ever there with me, but we would catch fish and feed them to the eagle. And I mean, we just got up close footage. Like if I had cameras like I had now, the footage that I could have gotten
I
back
mean,
then,
we may or may not
insane.
be able to plug a couple pics in here. I know your father was really into photography, especially when
Yep.
you guys were going to Maine, and I know he's got some really good footage. If we have the ability to, we might even need to just pop a few pictures in for the viewers that are able to view this.
Yeah, and you're right. He actually has a website. We could definitely pull those pictures off the website. But John was my best man along with my brother in our wedding. And it's amazing to think back, and it's like so much time has passed, and it feels like no time has passed at all at the same time. And it's just all of these experiences bunched up into one big ball that I could never imagine um not having. And I think that just builds my love for the outdoors even more. I joke around all the time. The hardest thing for me is to get off the couch. Sometimes I'm so engulfed in what I'm doing at home that I feel like I don't have the time to get out and do what I need to do or what I want to do. But the second I get out and the second I get myself to get in that car and drive, I couldn't have been happier that I got myself off the couch. There is just something intoxicating and addictive about the woods. And it's not just being in the woods, it's about finding the little successes along the way. So often people get involved with, the success is catching the fish, the success is harvesting the deer, the turkey, or whatever the case may be, or even if someone going out and finding geocaches, the success there is finding the geocache. But I think finding those little victories along the way are what's most important. Like if we're out deer scouting and we find that scrape line you're talking about, like, you know what, that's one more point on our side of the scoreboard, tipping variables in our favor. So I like to look at the year as a whole as like its own. Every day is a new challenge and a new activity to do, especially when it comes to the property. I mean, you and I have spent a lot of time talking about property management, and I knew nothing, absolutely nothing up until 4 years ago when we got this property. So the day we got it, you and I, we would be talking, we'd be bouncing ideas off of each other. And to see how that has followed through and come along after 4 years. I mean, we went from not even being able to grow a blade of grass in the first year to having beautiful no-till food plots this year. So I, I I might have to be honest. I think I sometimes enjoy that process more than I enjoy the harvest. Everything leading up to it, because without the stuff leading up to it, there wouldn't be a success, whatever that success may be.
Yeah, and I mean that's the best part about it. I mean, for people who are really just going to be out here and be in the outdoors, and this is a lifestyle like we've referenced. You're going to have to like those days where it's 85, 90 degrees outside, and you're outside with a backpack sprayer, or you're outside with a seed bag on your shoulder, or you're outside with a weed whacker, or whatever it ends up being. Putting those hard hours in, that's what's really something that you really have to enjoy. Otherwise, you're not gonna stick with it. But you know, having that work ethic instilled in us in a young age, I think, is what really kind of helps us out in that regard. And you know, it, it's not. It's definitely a labor of love, right? You really got to love it, but that doesn't mean that there's not stuff out there for people who, obviously not everyone has their own property, and they're not gonna, have something that they're gonna need to go spend that time on. They're only just gonna have to go in the public land, which we're gonna. I mean, I'm hunting exclusively public land at this point, so there's times where you're just gonna have to go out and spend the time and put the legwork in, and they're not going to walk to your front door, right? These deer, they're not going to walk to your front door. Whatever other game animal you're looking for, you're going to have to go out and get them. You can't get them from the couch. One of the things I do want to touch on too is because in this journey that we've taken, we've already met so many people who were just so encouraging, and people who want to help us out. And we're lucky to have a few partners, one of them being Andover Hunt and Fish. I just want to shout them out for a quick second. They've got quality fishing and hunting supplies. They sell live bait for all your outdoor needs. They've got a great selection of archery stuff, firearms, ammunition. All of it's competitively priced, and they've got friendly staff there. Gerald, the owners, every time I walk in, it's like he was waiting for me to walk through the door with no prior notice. And they've always got the answers to my questions. They pretty much always have exactly what I'm looking for, and if not, they can definitely get it to me. So I definitely want to give them a quick shout out. And as we kind of expand and get a couple more partners, we're definitely going to be looking to send people their way. Um, you know, as far as the new opportunities go, what I'm really excited about and what I'm really looking forward to is, kind of doing some traveling. We're kind of right now in this Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey area. And like you said, we have friends and family in New Hampshire. We've got friends and family in Maine. We've got friends and family in Massachusetts. And we're really starting to spread our tentacles out, and we're reaching out to these people. And we're really hoping that we can build the community that we have with the small group of friends that we have, and build it and grow it to a larger community in this area. And we're going to be bringing content from all these different states and all these different seasons. We've got a slate of different stuff to look forward to this season coming up in the 2024 hunting season, whether it be bear, whether it be deer. Just talking about it, I was telling you, I'm gunning for that trifecta, right? I want to get a deer in New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania this year. That's my goal. I'm going to keep it light. I'm not going to say bucks only. I'm going to
Sure.
keep it light. Start off on a good foot. We'll see how it goes from there. But I'm really looking forward to kind of getting out and meeting people and traveling and hunting and fishing. It's one thing that I've always liked. Going out to an area that I've never known and never been in, and being able to harvest an animal. It's something that you could really take a lot of pride in, and being able to put it together. Hopefully, we can get it on camera. We're going to really be working hard, as hard as we can, to get this footage, get good footage. We might have to sacrifice a couple times, and we might have to pass on something that we probably wouldn't pass if we didn't have cameras in the tree or cameras with us. And it's going to be a hard pill to swallow, but we're going to do our best to bring as quality footage and quality experiences to everybody, and really show them what it's like. You know what I mean? It's what it's like. And you know, people will, people who especially bow hunt. I mean, we're avid bow hunters. You're in the woods. There's nothing worse than just knowing that there's a beautiful buck that you would love to harvest just outside of your range, and you just
Yeah.
had to watch it. And you know what I mean? We're for us, we pride ourselves in being ethical hunters. I'm not going to take a Hail Mary shot, but it just gives you the extra motivation you need to kind of put that extra time in and make sure you can get yourself in the right spot.
Yeah. And before we wrap up here, the really cool thing that you touched on is finding new places and new ground to go and hunt. And I think what's really cool is that we both have an opportunity to start to explore new grounds together. Obviously, I have my property in New York, but you and I went scouting a little bit, little road scouting this weekend in New York State as well. And we have our places that we love to hunt in New Jersey, but we're trying to expand to new ground. But even more important than that, or differently than that, is I just moved to Pennsylvania. So I'm literally looking for new ground. I've never hunted other than birds when I was in college. I've never hunted a day in Pennsylvania. So everything that I'm going to be doing in this state is going to be from scratch this year. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts from other people, and wherever I get information from, I have no problem sharing who I got it from, right? And I want to take those tactics and put them to the test and see what works for me. And what works for me may not work for you. And what works for both of us may not work for other listeners, or what works for us will work for our listeners. And I think growing with our community is what's really going to bring us all together. And I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So
There's more than one way to skin a cat. Everyone knows that. So, we're hoping that people can learn from us, and hopefully learn from our mistakes and our successes.
absolutely. So we're looking forward to learning with everybody. And until next time, I want everyone to have a great week. And remember, success is just a commitment away. Until next time, have a good day.